You should be prorated if it's in the middle of the month, correct?
I don't
No,
know.
unless
I
we
don't
were
think
requesting a
that
money
is.
judgment, which we aren't.
No, I'm stating like I shouldn't be charged a whole month if I'm not living there a whole month, correct?
Real Properties versus Michelle McCree.
Daniel Landman for the plaintiff. You online?
No, right here, right behind you. All right, and a Tigers fan. That works. Okay, let's see. What's the balance we have now?
Your Honor, Ms. McCree at the last hearing indicated she was going to pay $1,000 last Friday.
Correct.
No, by today, I'm sorry. And another 1,000 by June 28th. She has handed me a receipt indicating that she paid $1,000 yesterday.
Got it.
Again, that's not something I would have been aware of, given the
So I brought the
circumstances.
receipt.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So what's your balance then?
So with the $1,000 being credited, it would be 1,829 plus 175 in costs for a total of $2,004.
Got it.
And
But I'm
then,
still fighting that. I'm trying to remove those charges.
$150.
Yes, sir. you're-
I got you. Okay. I haven't forgotten. I've got it written here. I'm glad you reminded me, but I'm just saying, I'm worried about the other bigger portion.
No.
Right? You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
I got
And
it.
then we'll figure that 150 out. So you're gonna pay another 1,000 by what, the 28th? You think?
It'll be, well, yeah, it'll probably be like last night, same as this.
Same as this
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 1,000 by the 28th.
And my lease also expires like July 25th or 3rd or
Got it.
somewhere in there. So I'm not gonna owe a whole month's worth of July as well. You should be prorated if it's in the middle of the month, correct?
I don't know.
no, unless
I
we
don't
were
think
requesting a
that
money
is.
judgment, which we aren't.
No, I'm stating like I shouldn't be charged a whole month if I'm not living there a whole month, correct? You don't get charged a whole month if you move in the middle of the month.
Right, but I don't know if that got taken into account when you moved in or not. There are two ways that can be done, so that you'd still owe the whole thing for the last month, because it would have been, in essence, prorated at some point at the beginning, or something happened at the beginning of your lease.
It was prorated at the beginning.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. I don't know how to answer your question in your circumstance.
Okay,
Okay. So you put the 1,000 in there on the 28th, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adjourn you out also 1 week.
okay. Is
Okay,
it possible I could do Zoom next time, Your Honor, so I don't have to leave work?
that's fine. We've got a form for you. We'll do that for you. And then if you get the 1,000 in, now, the important thing might be, what time do you go to work?
Thank you, sir. 8 to 4,
Okay, so.
and I go on call.
So do this, if you got the receipt, if you can somehow or another get it to the court, so
Well,
that,
it shows up in our, like it showed up in my,
but they may
Portal.
not have it.
okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody has everything and we're operating on the
Do
same
you
number.
have like an email I could send it to you or something along those lines Thursday night?
Absolutely.
Okay, add that to that, please. And
Okay,
he'll have.
then he'll have it.
Will
And
that
then
work?
the other part to it is, as I was dealing with the other two, you may not be quite caught up, but what we may do is I don't know what we'll do with that 150 service charge. We'll figure it out. But is get a judgment, lock in that number. That way you're at least able to stay beyond then, and you'll have a certain figure to pay up. Okay.
Meanwhile, will you find out about
150,
proration and the extra charges?
the service charge of
Have you
150.
given notice that you're moving out on the 25th of
I've told
July?
them, yes, I have.
Did you give them
And I
written
also
notice?
have pictures and whatnot.
Did you give them written notice that you were moving out?
I didn't sign my lease. I load them in a text message and an email
Okay, you
that I
didn't sign-
would
you didn't
not
sign
be
a renewal.
reading. Right,
Okay. All right.
Payment you made, was that also through Walmart?
yeah, they locked my account. I have to pay cash.
Okay.
What?
I have to pay cash, Your Honor,
Where?
at Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah, they make you go in and pay. I had it in non-sufficient fund, so they locked the. And
got it. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you.
I think that covers cases.
Court does call the case, Silo Farms versus Steve Duncan.
Not sure.
Your
That's
Honor, there is
not-
though Kevin Paul checked in on behalf of Sherry Duncan, who's the other party. He is
Yeah.
Miss Duncan's guardian, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
And Your Honor, this is the date and time for plaintiff's motion for dispossession of the manufactured home. Your Honor, this is a situation where a judgment entered back in November of 2023. Mr. Paul had appeared at, I think, the initial hearing on this and indicated that Steve Duncan had passed away. Sherry Duncan, I think, was living in a nursing home and that he
Correct.
was her guardian. I spoke with Mr. Paul briefly last year about trying to work something out regarding disposition of the home. He was going to talk to Steve Duncan's heirs about what their intentions were for the home because both Steve and Sherry are listed on the title. I have since been in communication with Steve's sister Beverly Wilson and have served his two other sisters, Marcella and Carlene. And in speaking with Ms. Beverly Wilson, Steve Duncan's family does not want anything further to do with the home, and they have no objection to the court awarding title to Sile Farms. I spoke with Mr. Paul's sister last week, or may have been earlier this week, and I don't believe that there's a desire for the home to stay in Ms. Duncan's name either, but I will defer to Mr. Paul with respect to that as her guardian.
May I address the court?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. I kind of fell into this. The previous guardian was Miss Duncan's sister, and when she cleared the trailer out, all the paperwork and anything, personal items went, including, I mean, as simple as a phone and false teeth. So it was quite some. My cousin actually wrote my sister a distress letter and said, "Hey, I'm stuck in this nursing home and I have no control over issues." And that's how I ended up being guardian for a cousin I hadn't seen in probably 30 some years. So I'm just trying to work with this. She has no interest. There is nobody that is interested, and she's living in a nursing home and I don't know, gets $60 a month for personal items. The kind of whatever happens here, I'll have to go with it because there's nothing to be done.
All right. Then I'm going to grant.
Your Honor, I would
Go
just say
ahead.
one more thing for the record, and it is referenced in the motion. There is still a lien listed on the title. The lien holder is from 1986, First Federal of Michigan, and I have listed in the motion who we believe the successor in interest would be. We've served their registered or resident agent, however you want to refer to them, with a copy of this motion, letting them know that Sile Farms is seeking to obtain title. I suspect, Your Honor, given its age, it's almost as old as I am, that the lien has been released. But I wanted to just bring that to the court's attention as well.
All right. She was bragging. She said that. All right.
I'm aging myself, Your Honor.
I want to see pictures of the trailer.
All right. The motion is granted. I'm going to grant the motion and petition for disposition of mobile home. And I've signed that order. That transfer of title can go to Sile Farms.
Thank
All
you.
right.
That is fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Court does call the case of Sile Farms versus Thomas Denton.
And for the record on this one, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor, I do not believe anybody is present on behalf of Mr. Denton. Mr. Denton himself is deceased. This is a similar case where an action was brought for non-payment of rent in December 2023. As I indicated, Thomas Denton is deceased. I have been in touch with his brother, Charles Denton, who was served with a copy of our motion for disposition of the manufactured home. And my understanding is that Thomas Denton has one direct descendant, also named Paul Denton, although the Paul Denton I served, I think, is Thomas Denton's father and not his son. Nonetheless, Charles Denton and I spoke this afternoon, communicated with his nephew. Neither Charles nor Paul want ownership of this home, and they do not have an objection to Scio Farms obtaining title. So in light of that, we would request entry of an order awarding title to the home to Scio Farms.
Court will sign the order awarding title of the mobile home and subject matter in this case to Scio Farms.
Thank
That
you.
order is signed. Monty, or any resident, I'm presuming, at 312 Washtenaw. There's no response. If you'd like to take a default, please raise your right hand. Oh, it's correct this time. Do you solemnly swear? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got?
I do.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is a case for non-payment of rent. Rent to retain possession is $10,981.49. Court costs are $419. That's $419 for a total of $11,400.49. Plaintiff is requesting a default judgment for possession only with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested. Writ to issue 10 days.
Thank you.
Case of Strong Future Homes versus Leticia Cochran.
Julian Ingham for plaintiff.
Did not.
Leticia Cochran, she has not responded, has not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you. This is a case for non-payment of rent. Rent to retain possession is $927.31. Court costs are $176 for a total of $1,103.31. Plaintiff is requesting a default judgment for possession only with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Do you have somebody that needs to be admitted?
It's for Arbor Meadows.
Oh, got it. Strong Future Homes versus Ashley Womack.
Julian Ingham for plaintiff.
I'm here.
Hello, Ms. Womack. All right, what is the claim in this case?
I have a current balance, including court costs, of $516.28.
My
Can you say
paper
that
says
again?
three.
You kind of broke up there.
Thank you. Total $516.28.
My paper says different. Mine says 322.28.
That's
If
what
you
you're
want-
showing is? Okay,
Yeah, I
but
can-
is your balance include court costs, Ms. Womack?
I don't know.
Is that on the
It-
complaint?
It's on, yeah, it's on my non-complainant of rent. It's on the actual case paper.
Yep. So that was the amount that was due at the time that the case was filed.
Oh, this court paper?
Yes.
Okay,
So
hold
the
on.
amount has gone up because of late charges and because of court costs.
It says
Well-
my rent was paid through 1/31/2024, and the total rent is now 322.
Right, that's the total rent due. How much are the court costs on this case?
I have court costs of $176.
So somewhere around there, if I go 8, 9, that'd be 498, and there's probably a late fee or something in there. So with the court costs, ma'am, that's how you're getting to the 516.
If they would just let people go in their office and pay it, it would be a lot easier.
Okay, so ma'am,
Yeah.
how are you intending on getting this paid?
Well, I would have had the 322 in just a week. Now that it's
In a
bumped up to 500 and something, I might need like another
Hold
extra
on.
2 weeks.
Hold on. How much can you pay in a week?
322.28.
Okay.
Wait, no, it says I owe 228 in rent. This is confusing because now this paper is saying I owe 228 in rent, and that would with court
Hold
costs.
on, ma'am. What are you looking at that says you owe 228?
Yeah, I'll show you. Let me flip it.
Okay, that's your demand for possession. Okay, I see that. Okay. Ma'am, let's try to work it through this way. You can pay the 322.28 by next week?
Yes,
All right, let's do this then. How much is your monthly rent?
like $52. What it was is I didn't know it went up, and so they've been charging me without me knowing. When I tried to figure out how much I owed, every time I called them, you have to call to make an appointment to even go in there. So by the time that they get a
Okay,
hold of me,
okay,
it's like
ma'am,
3 days later.
ma'am. About how much is your monthly rent?
I think 52.
Okay, so let's do this. Pay the 322 and change. Pay that. What day can you get that paid?
25th.
The 25th. Okay. So pay that by the 25th. All right. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week to the 28th. Okay. And then
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll figure out so that a new case doesn't get filed. We'll figure out how we're going to get the court cost and then your July rent paid. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's do it that way. We'll see you the 28th at
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Thank you.
Strong Future Homes versus Alana Lindsay.
Jillian Angus, the plaintiff.
Hi, I'm here.
She's iPhone 1.
Can
Okay.
I be heard?
All right. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
How much is owing on this case?
I have a current balance, including court costs, of $999.
999? Is that what you indicated? I'm sorry, Miss Ingham. You broke up again on me.
I'm sorry, $999.
Okay. All right. Miss Lindsay, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I actually just got hired in at a new job over the weekend, and I also am in I'm in connection with Hawk. I have intake on the 15th for them to pay the balance that it is right now, but I should also be able to contribute to that balance since I will be getting paid weekly.
Okay. So you got a meeting with Hawk on the 15th of July.
Yes,
How much is your monthly rent?
it's $252.
Okay. Okay. So you're subsidized. Did something happen with your subsidy at all? Hello? Miss Lindsay? Did I lose her?
You dropped out or might be dropping out.
Self-employed.
Miss Lindsay?
And
There
hello.
Okay, hold it. You
Yeah.
dropped out there for a moment.
I'm sorry. I was also self-employed at the time, and I was unable to afford the products and the childcare for my kids. So basically, I've just been looking for work and, trying to make sure that my DTE and everything is paid. But I will be able to contribute to that because I just got hired at a job.
Okay, I got you. So your monthly rent is, you said 252?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so let's do this. How much do you think you can pay by next week?
I should start working Monday. Would that be the following, that Friday?
Oh, so you're not gonna, okay. So let me ask it this way. By next Friday, will you have anything that you can contribute?
Yes. I get paid $17 an hour, so I should be able to contribute a few hundred.
A few hundred. Okay,
Yes.
so we're not real sure. But what day of the week do you get paid?
Friday, every Friday.
Okay, what time do you know?
I believe 12 p.m.
Okay,
12 a.m. I'm
so
sorry.
12 a.m. So you get
Yeah.
paid early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjourn this out 1 week to the 28th at 1 p.m. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know how much you're gonna be able to put in because you just started, right?
Right. But I from my wages and what I should make, I should be able to pay at least 400 or 500.
400 or 500?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put down 400 to 500. You're to pay that by the 28th. Okay, to the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have to figure out how because we're gonna be marching into July, but then we'll have to figure out how we're gonna get this done, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor.
Sound good?
Yes.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is just for Ms. Lindsay. Are you starting this upcoming Monday?
Yes.
My only concern is that there might be a week gap.
Right.
Delay it. So if I just don't want Ms. Lindsay to say she's going to pay $400 to $500, and then if there's a delay by a week, that I just don't want it to be counted against her if it's
Right. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Are they gonna hold the check?
I'm actually not sure. My job is in Highland Park, so I'm actually not familiar with that area, but I should know by Monday.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here's what we'll do, and I think Ms. Engen is correct. I'll put $400 to $500 here. But it might be that your check might be held in a hole, or what's called holding it. And then we'll just see where we are on the 28th, and then we'll try to map out a plan as to how we're gonna take care of this, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Stephen Wild versus Brittany Fisher.
David Fanter on behalf of Stephen.
Hi.
All right. And
You and I discussed this with Ms. Fisher. As the court knows, she would normally have 10 days, but I extended this till the 8th. She's, I think, starting a job this week and has been working on other things. She's been working very hard to get this paid. I gave her as much time as I could give her, which would be the 8th. And she signed, and I advised of her rights under the court rule.
very good. Is all of that correct, ma'am?
That's correct.
All right. And you start a job when?
I'm scheduled to start tomorrow morning.
Okay. This goes through the 8th. Can be able to get this paid by then?
Well, if I may explain to you the circumstances.
Sure.
I obtained employment for this job yesterday morning. And the manager, prior to me even filling out the application, which was about last week, took some time to get hired. She knew that I was applying for a loan and was pre-approved. And everything was contingent on her answering her phone for the loan company yesterday. I intended to have all of this paid yesterday, and she did not answer the phone. So I'm debating whether I ought to go to work tomorrow because she was in full awareness that I was relying upon this. But I do have an interview opportunity currently that I'm now considering attending. I have the proof of employment here, her note that she signed saying that, giving them her phone number. And she just didn't answer. She wrote address to the loan company, everything. This is the proof that I was hired, my hire date. And she didn't answer her phone for me to be a have this.
Okay, but if you start, but you're not gonna have wages to get this paid, is that?
If I continue employment, I'm hired currently. I currently hold an assistant manager position at the dollar store.
Okay, I see. So,
Otherwise, I have an interview in my inbox, another opportunity reaching out to me for an interview.
When would you get paid if you, let's
The
say,
3rd would be my first paycheck.
is it
but
week?
then you don't get another check until the 17th.
No, it's weekly pay.
It's weekly, so you get another check on the 10th.
Correct.
Can we move that to the 15th, Your Honor?
That's
Maybe-
what I was gonna do anyway, I think. All right, so what I'm gonna do, or what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend this out one more week. All right, and hopefully then you can,
Obtain employment and get this approved.
well, if you start that when you would get paid on the 26th.
I don't have my calendar before.
Well, that's next Wednesday.
No, it skips a week. Well, I would not get paid the 26th. The first check would be the 3rd.
First check would be the 3rd, and then it's weekly after that.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I understood you said the 15th. I'm gonna go to the 17th. That'll give you at least 3 checks if you have that to try to get this paid.
Sure.
Okay, I do that over the objection of plaintiff on
No
this.
objection, Your Honor.
Any other questions you have regarding this? Thank you. I've signed the judgment, and you can get a copy at the front counter.
And I would make partial payments, and I'll
Yes.
tell my clients to take partial payments because we can whittle this down.
Sure.
You
That
know,
would be, that's my goal.
So,
Okay.
Your Honor, thank you.
Court calls the case of Arbor One West versus Mercedes Houston.
Cheryl Wolkoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Well, where'd she go? Oh, I don't know. She was
I
just
thought
there.
I saw her. at
She
one point.
was. She was
Okay.
here. She just dropped off. I don't know what happened. She'll come back. All right.
All right.
Court, I'll pass that one. Arbor One West versus Destiny Boyd.
Cheryl Wolkoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hi, I'm here.
All right, Miss Boyd. And last week we had $1,240. Well, Miss Boyd, you got it to do.
I just want everybody to sign and I'll sign. Sorry.
All right.
I'm
We had
so sorry.
1,200.
I was trying to join.
Okay,
the
it's
Zoom.
okay, Miss Houston. I just passed your case once you dropped off. We got you. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep.
No, it's okay. No apology. On Miss Boyd's case, we had $1,240.10. You were to pay $500, and then I wanted to make sure that payment was made, and then she said she was going to have everything paid by the 28th.
I do not show that the payment of $500 was made.
Yes, I went and paid me $630 yesterday. I have my receipt from my money order. I took it to the lady in Arbor One's office
When did you
Well,
pay
you're-
that?
yesterday
Okay. And then you said you're going to pay the balance by.
by the 28th.
Okay. Is there any? How do you want to do this? Look, it
You know
looks
what?
like.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It was like, if I can try and
I'll pa-
confirm. Do you want to pass it? Because
Yeah,
if
I'll
she
pass
didn't
it.
pay
I'll
it,
pass
I'm gonna
it.
ask for judgment, but if she did, I don't have any problem adjourning it or.
All right, I'll pass your case. Hold the line, Miss Boyd. Arbor One versus Nicole Bevere. Oh, I meant to call Miss Houston. I'll get you, Miss Houston.
Okay.
Oh, Cheryl Wolkoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Come on up, man. All right, this was hello, what's your name?
Nicole Bevere.
Okay, this was another one. She owed 1104. She was gonna pay 500 that day. And she's gonna pay the balance by the end of the month. She's
28th.
here. Do you show her $500 payment that day?
I show that on the 17th, she paid $500.
Right. And then you just need till next week to get it done?
Yes, but I don't get paid till 4:30 in the evening. So it won't be till Saturday, the 29th.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
The
It's the
problem,
same
Your Honor,
thing
is it's
with
gonna be
how this-
July by the time, if it's not made, we're gonna end up
Yeah.
having my rent kick in.
so. Okay, I got you.
What's wrong?
No, I'm just thinking what the problem will be is that if I tried to go any longer than that,
The 28th?
yeah, what's gonna happen? Because that's my last docket day of the month.
Mhm.
July's gonna kick in.
Okay, I understand.
How much is owing? How much do you have owing?
Right now, $601.29.
609.
601.29. Yep.
Okay, and you think you can get that all paid
Oh, yeah,
by the 29th?
by the
okay.
29th, yes.
Here's what I'm
It'll be
gonna
your
do.
Saturday morning.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find no tribal issue. I'm gonna grant judgment of possession to the plaintiff in that amount, the 601.29. Explain why I'm doing that. I'm freezing the number.
Okay,
So that we're just gonna be dealing with June.
okay,
Okay, and then I'll indicate a writ by July 1st, 2024. So what happened is I've frozen that number. We're not dealing with July's numbers. You'll get it paid on the 29th. That'll satisfy this judgment. Then you work on July and July rent paid.
gotcha.
Fair
That
enough?
Yep.
That work? She was looking at me like she didn't believe me for a minute.
sounds-
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
You
Take
have a
care.
good day.
S&C Holdings versus Mark Kish.
Ready, Your Honor. I'm here, Your Honor.
Hello.
Tracy Thomas appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Kish, can you state your
Yes.
name?
Mark Kish.
Right. He was, the last time we were here, he was gonna pay $500 by the 19th. Did that get done?
It did not, Your Honor. My check was less than I thought, and then I had a shut-off notice from Detroit Edison for Thursday. But I do have 300 right now, and I get paid today, so I can put the 500 in as soon as I get off work.
Have you tried to work something out with the landlord?
I haven't talked to Pamela, but I last time I talked to her, she said a partial payment would be okay.
Your Honor, that's no longer the case. In fact, we're not sure Mr. Kish has any real intentions of paying anything. They've informed him that they're not going to renew his lease. His lease is up at the end of July. So we'd like a judgment. We don't think there's been a triable issue.
Going to grant a judgment finding no tribal issue after hearing for the plaintiff. Total amount due, counsel.
$2,144.
And that includes your costs.
It does.
Judgment to the plaintiff, finding no tribal issue.
I'll present it.
Redemption is $2,144 with the writ issued 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will present a judgment today.
Thank you. Roger Pritzel versus Jermaine Bird.
Here, Your Honor.
Roger Pritzel, Your Honor.
This is a termination of tenancy case. And Bird, Ms. Bird, what is your position on this termination?
The last time we talked to her, I was talking about getting an attorney with I'm an assistant to the attorney here in town. And I also followed up and went to the Lenaway SCM, and I also filed for emergency services for DHS.
All right, but there's no lease on the premises. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. He's on a month-to-month basis, hasn't paid for over 8 months, owes over $3,600.
Right. Well, this is a termination of tenancy action. You're not put forth a defense of this claim for possession of the premises. So I'm going to grant a judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue. After hearing in this case, I will extend the writ date to July 5th instead of the 1st. You have to prepare a judgment and get it into the court for my signature. Thank you. Red Line Apartments versus Jimani Robert.
Good morning, good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fainter on behalf of Red Line Apartments.
Your name?
Jimani Roberts.
Okay.
Your Honor, I've had a chance to discuss this matter with Ms. Roberts. She's made 2 payments since last Friday. Her balance is now $650 plus $160 in court costs for a total of $810. She says she just got approved for a loan for $800 and will be able to have it paid by the 1st. And I also told her that she inquired about having the judgment set aside if it's paid on time. And I told her last time she requested that we actually filed a writ, so I really couldn't do that. But this time, if she gets it paid by the 1st, I will do that. I'll file an ex parte motion to set the judgment aside and dismiss the case.
All right. Is all of that correct, ma'am?
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
signed off on this judgment?
Yes.
All right. You have any questions regarding it?
No.
All right. And this is by consent. You have 3 business days to think about this. Since you're unrepresented by counsel, you have 3 business days to think about this judgment. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, some right you didn't assert, you'd have to file a motion with the court within that time frame. You understand that?
Yes.
Doesn't mean I'd grant it, but you'd have that time to file the motion.
Okay.
Okay. I'll sign the judgment. You can pick up a copy up front. there if
Thank
want.
you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Court calls the case of Redfield Rentals versus Christina Mogg. Hello. What's your name?
Christina Mogg.
All right. Where are we on this case?
So Ms. Mogg brought in a money order for $500. Actually, she had called me before I came to court, so I knew that she was going to do that. That takes her balance down to $965. She says she can pay $500 every 2 weeks, which would mean $500 on the 5th, $500 on the 19th. So I just gave her till the 19th on that, which solves this case. But I told her that because her rent's like $900 and change, that she's going to have to figure out something in the future, but we don't need to deal with that today. I think this judgment gives her what she needs to get that paid, and I advised of her rights under the court rule.
You did?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right. Is all of that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Any questions you have about this judgment whatsoever?
No, sir.
No? I have signed the judgment, and you can pick up a copy up front at the front counter. Okay, thank you. Roger Pritzel versus Eric Weathers. The defendant has not checked in. Mr. Pritzl, would you like to take a default in this case?
Yes.
You'll need to turn on your camera, sir. If you would.
And where might I do that?
Yeah, boy. There should be a little, looks like a little movie camera, probably has a red slash through it or a slash through it. You need to make sure it doesn't have a
There I
slash.
go.
Oh, there you go. Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
In this case, you're seeking termination of a tenancy on a 30-day notice. Is that correct?
Yes,
And there is no lease to the premise, or on the premises. It's a month to month.
that is correct.
Based upon that testimony, the court would find that by default, I will grant a judgment for possession with a writ to issue in 10 days.
So that'd be July 1st.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Calls the case of Roger Pritzl versus Tommy Fonville. They've also not checked in. This is also, Mr. Pritzl, a termination of tenancy case.
Yes.
And notice was sent. And there is no lease on the premises. It's a month to month.
Yes.
Based upon that testimony, court will grant a judgment to the plaintiff for possession.
Is that by default?
Yes, by default with a writ to issue in 10 days.
Okay, I'll get those judgments in this afternoon. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Spice Tree Apartments versus Ibrahim Bass.
For the record, Your Honor, my client confirms payment in full on this account, so we are intending to submit a dismissal. That payment occurred today.
Okay, hang on, he's here. What's your name?
Ibrahim Bass.
They said you paid everything.
Yeah, there was a mistake. So I ended up putting the payment at 405 on my neighbor's apartment because I had the flu. So yeah, it was a big mix up. So here I got.
But everything's paid though.
Yeah. Everything's paid up.
You had the flu and you paid your neighbor's bill?
Yeah.
I need you to move next door to me and get sick. All right. Okay. They're moving to dismiss. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Okay. Case is dismissed. You have a great weekend.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Take care. Valley Ranch versus Van Wassanova. She's here.
And Your Honor, my client confirms payment in full on this account. So likewise, we would like to dismiss this matter.
Okay. Your name?
Elizabeth Van Wassanova.
You paid everything?
Yes, I did.
You sure?
Yes. I double checked. I actually called before and I was like, I just want to make sure.
Hey, you came down and you just wanted to make sure it was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't want any trouble.
Unlike everybody else. Okay. I actually have signed their dismissal. I've signed it. This case is dismissed. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much. You too.
Thank you, Judge. And Your Honor, that's it. Aside from my two past matters, can I go into a breakout room with Ms. Gonzalez and then I can also speak with Ms. Cook?
Okay. All right. That's fine. You got that, Ann? Spice Tree Apartments versus Kaladi Kaba. They are not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you. Oh, I'm already sworn. Thank you, Judge. Rent to retain $1,496.93. Costs are $172. Total due $1,668.93. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
I'm sorry. Can you give me that number again? That was
Total due or rent, Judge?
total due.
1668.93.
0.93. Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Court, Red Line Apartments versus Jamani Robert. Okay, wow.
Mr. Fanter's out in the hall speaking with.
Okay.
Hi,
Your name?
Jamani Robert.
All right, I'm gonna pass your case.
Okay.
We're waiting on Mr. Fantera to come in.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.